Your church website says that you value authenticity and community, but your staff gossips in the hallway after difficult conversations. You preach generosity from the stage every Sunday, but your team hoards information and guards it like it's their turf, Fort Knox. The disconnect isn't subtle anymore. Your people see it. Your visitors feel it. I heard somebody say, I went to a church and it just felt off. And your staff, they're living in the tension every single day. And that's what we're going to talk about today on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. When your staff are living different values than what your church is preaching. Hi there, my name's Todd Rhoades, one of the co-founders at Chemistry Staffing and your host right here on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast every weekday. I was reading some research from biblical research recently, and it hit me. Most churches, many churches, have this gap. And in some churches, that gap that we talk about is even wider than you think. Your stated values live on your website and in your staff handbook. Your actual values show up in how decisions get made and how conflicts get handled and how information flows and whether people feel safe to disagree or ask really hard questions. The gap between stated and lived values isn't just confusing. If that gap is too wide, it can be toxic. So here's what's happening in a lot of churches. I see a slow drift happening. Staff see the contradiction probably first, and it maybe starts as just something really small. They don't even know how to name it, but they start operating by kind of these unspoken rules that just pop up in the culture instead of the stated ones that everybody sees when they read the handbook. New staff get confused because they're just coming on the team, and they get confused because what they were told doesn't match what they experience. People outside the church feel the disconnect before you do, and that little something is off when visitors can't quite put their finger on it. The vibe just doesn't feel right. That's the problem we're talking about. And listen, your team isn't trying to be hypocritical, and most leadership is not trying to be hypocritical. They're just following the culture that you've accidentally created. So if your church is experiencing this over time, this gap between what you say your values are and what actually you're living out day to day, particularly in the office, here are 3 ways that I think could help you close the gap, at least get you started today. First, audit your actual values, not your stated ones. Okay? So look at your last 5 really difficult decisions that you've made, maybe at the elder level, maybe at the leadership level. What did they reveal about what you really value? How do you actually treat people when they mess up? So that's number 1. Number 2, have the awkward conversation with your staff if you need to. Ask them, hey, what do you think our real values are based on how we operate around here? Don't defend when you hear their answers. My mom always said, don't ask questions you don't want to hear the answers for. So don't defend, don't explain, just listen. So that's number 2. Number 3, from that feedback that you have, from number 1 and number 2, pick one value, just one, and get obsessive about it for the next 90 days. And by obsessive, what I mean is I want you to get obsessive, get right on track with living it out for the next 90 days. Don't try and fix everything all at once. That'll just be a mess. Choose the biggest area that you find the biggest gap in and close it with intention and consistent action. Because your staff is watching how you handle this more than what you know. And if you can model what it looks like to align your words with actions, most of the time your staff will follow. And if you ignore the gap and hope that it goes away, hint, it won't, your staff will learn to live with the contradiction. Your credibility as a leader hangs on this alignment and the ability to be able to close this gap. The gospel that you preach deserves better than a staff that lives it differently. So here's your bottom line for today. People don't follow your stated values. They follow your lived values. Your team wants alignment more than you think they do. They're just waiting for you to lead the way. That's it for today's episode on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. I'm Todd Rhoades. I'd love to hear from you. reach out to me anytime with any question, any kind of way you need help, any kind of thing that we could help you in your church, in our work at Chemistry Staffing in the area of healthy church staff. I'd love to hear your story, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about how we might be able to help. You can reach out to me anytime at podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. I answer every email, read every email actually as well. All right, sounds great. We will be back here tomorrow on the podcast. Tomorrow we're looking at, the title of tomorrow's is The Missing Link Between Church Values and Staff Alignment. So we'll talk about that tomorrow right here on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. Have a great day.